Now that I have saved some money to build my dream home, I'm really confused about which estate company to approach. My friend had a bad experience with a particular estate agency after completing his payment and could not even get his title deed. This is serious.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Thank you.
My name is Oli. I'm from EJ Investments.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
You know, I must say you came at a very right time.
Really?
I was thinking about houses.
Great.
What can your company offer me?
EJ Investments can offer you a lot. We're unique in the market.
Okay.
We own our properties and we ensure that they're developed with modern technologies. They're affordable and they are strategic locations. We don't just sell pieces of land, but we create settlements.
What makes your company different from others?
We're different from all real estate companies in the Gambia because what we have to offer is affordability, safety, and security. We ensure that you get a legal contract from when you pay your deposit, and within 4 weeks of paying your final settlement, we make sure you receive your title deed.
4 weeks?
4 weeks.
That's interesting.
Yes. Now tell me, what real estate service you need?
It's absolutely EJ Investment and Real Estate Agency.
The details of which will be highlighted during the deliberations. So it is my singular honor to invite the National Security Advisor to deliver the welcome address.
Is Chairman of the occasion, Honorable Steering Committee members, our Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, senior government officials, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, Dr. Sadio Ba, leading AU team presently on the ground, head of security institutions, permanent secretaries, representatives of the civil service organizations, members of the media fraternity, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am pleased to welcome you all to this retreat in the security sector reform for service chiefs and some senior public servants. It is intended to provide an opportunity and a platform in which we will look at some of the critical issues and also for our national key players and other actors to look at the issues surrounding the SSR in the Gambia, to converse, to exchange views, and in order to come up with a consensus as to how to move the security sector transformation forward. We are at this critical juncture in our security sector reform trajectory where we have completed our assessment phase and indeed have a fair idea of the current situation of the security sector, the level we want to take it to, and what type of security sector our people are yearning for. As we strive to move the security sector to the next phase, we should start thinking of the next level. That is why we are gathered here at this retreat to take stock of our achievements and brainstorm on the challenges ahead. I am convinced that the representation here this morning or afternoon will offer a good platform to discuss and harmonize our thinking and perception of the ongoing security sector reform. Ladies and gentlemen, since coming to power in January 2017, the new democratic dispensation under the leadership of His Excellency President Adama Barrow had manifested deep interest in the area of security transformation, especially in the democratic control and oversight of our security sector. We believe that the security sector as a whole needed reform, and all of us must work together to render this process successful and to achieve the objectives. So basically, one of the objectives also of this retreat is to further try and establish and entrench a common understanding of the conceptual, normative, and the programmatic underpinnings of the security sector process in the Gambia. Ladies and gentlemen, the security sector retreat that we are undertaking today is also to ensure our security service delivery is done in tandem with the upholding of the principles of human rights and rule of law. The Gambia security sector reform process gives prominence to the effective and transparent management of our security sector, our security structures, our interagency cooperation, as well as the protection of civil rights and other international norms. Clearly, we have reached some success. Some may call it modest, but success, I believe, had been achieved, and then some challenges are also ahead. I want to therefore recognize the role of our key players, ranging from the government under the chairmanship of His Excellency, the Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Excellency Honorable Lawyer Usainu Dago, who is the chair of the steering committee. We also want to recognize the international and bilateral partners whose provision of technical assistance and support cannot be overemphasized. And please allow me to single out ECOWAS for funding and supporting this particular retreat. Your Excellency, Madam Vapa, Ambassador of ECOWAS, please accept our gratitude and appreciation. Also allow me to announce the presence and acknowledge that African Union effort is now on the ground, and therefore we wish to recognize in our midst Dr. Sajo Ba and the AU deployment team. Doctor, you and your team are most welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I am hopeful that these 2 days retreat will be a good starting point for the full engagement of the security institutions, heads, and also government officials in order to achieve the requisite local ownership and cardinal objectives of our security sector reform. I wish you all a successful retreat, and I hope this process will help strengthen our understanding, participation, responsibilities, and above all, our level of commitment in steering forward the activities of this very security sector reform. I want to thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, the National Security Advisor. And you all agree with me that he has mentioned very important points here. Looking at the conclusion of the assessment phase, as mentioned. And of course, he also acknowledged the support received from the Vice President and, of course, the international partners. Now, without wasting much time, I would like to seize this opportunity to invite the UN Resident Coordinator to deliver a statement.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Hussein Dabo, Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, all government officials here present, Your Excellency, the ECOWAS Ambassador, the Honorable Representative from the African Union, all members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, colleagues from the UN system here present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols duly and respectfully observed. I'm deeply honored by this opportunity to speak on behalf of the United Nations system in the Gambia at the important occasion of the retreat of key stakeholders on the strategic review of the security sector reform process in the Gambia. I would like to take this opportunity to express my very sincere gratitude to ECOWAS for funding this part of the retreat, and to UNDP for agreeing to fund the forthcoming executive level retreat, which is slated for 17th and 18th of October 2018. Mr. Chairman, Honorable Vice President, Ministers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the UN Security Sector Reform Project, funded by the Peace Building Fund, aims at supporting the government of the Gambia to establish the critical foundational blocks to ensure a systematic SSR process coordinated by the Executive Secretariat of the National Security Council, the Office of National Security. In this regard, it commenced with supporting the government to undertake a comprehensive SSR assessment to determine the needs for reforms. It also facilitated a nationwide consultation process to ensure the views of the larger Gambian society formed an integral part in formulating the medium-term direction of the security sector reform. Specifically, the UN Security Sector Reform Team supported a government team of 24 members drawn from across the security sector and government ministries, departments and agencies, and civil society organizations to determine the gaps, the deficits, and malfunctions of the security institutions, with a view to recommending specific activities to enable the transformation of the security sector. For the above activity and other related SSR activities to be carried out effectively and sustainably, the establishment and capacitation of the Office of National Security has been and continues to be supported by the United Nations. Through the Office of National Security, a 10-member drafting committee has been capacitated to carry out the assignment of developing the first national security policy in the Gambia. Also, through the Office of the National Security, security sector reform focal persons have been trained and deployed in the security institutions to facilitate communication between the Office of National Security, security institutions, and civil society organizations. Similarly, a baseline gender security sector reform expert team is being deployed across the security sector. In this regard, the first of a 3-level training course has been conducted to train 50 personnel from the security sector and government institutions in facilitating and leading gender mainstreaming. This is an integral part of government's overall development effort to empower women, including in the security sector. The development of the national security policy is at an advanced stage, with a broad national consultation process just concluded on 19th and 21st September that drew participants from all levels of society and all security institutions and civil society groups, legislators, and other oversight organs, including the press. The ongoing formulation of the national security policy will go a long way in creating a new sector that is responsive to the security needs of the state and human security of the citizenry under full democratic civilian control. The policy is expected to be launched by the end of October this year, so very soon. Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, despite the above successes, many challenges continue to confront the security sector reform process. There is still additional work to be undertaken to complete both the national security policy and subsequently a related national security strategy that will define the strategic vision of the security sector of the Gambia. It will also outline the strategic steps that are needed to achieve the stated goals. It is in this context of addressing these challenges that this retreat of key policymakers was conceptualized. We hope the retreat will set the strategic direction for the country as it relates to security sector reform. In conclusion, allow me to acknowledge and applaud the ongoing initiatives and commitments of the government of the Gambia under the able leadership of His Excellency President Adama Barrow, the Vice President Mr. Hossein Dabo, His Excellency, which are aimed at finding lasting solutions to the challenges facing the security sector. We wish to assure you that the UN, working in close collaboration with other partners, such as the European Union, ECOWAS, and other bilateral and multilateral partners, will continue to provide the needed technical and advisory support to the process. I wish you all very, very fruitful deliberations and look forward to the outcomes from this meeting. I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you. Good afternoon to all. In the security, we don't speak. Good afternoon to all. Okay. Then we say as you were now, eh? As you were. Thank you. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, Madam Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly of the Gambia, Cabinet Ministers, and Permanent Secretaries of the Gambia present here, our UN Resident Coordinator, IT Resident Coordinator, our colleague Dr. Ba from the EU, our National Security Advisor, members of the Security Sector Chiefs present here. I see the IG and CDS. Thanks for being here. Members of the International Security Advisory Team, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, representatives of the international organizations, civil society organizations, members of the press, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the President of the ECOWAS Commission, His Excellency Dr. Jean-Claude Cassibro, I would like to extend our profound thanks and appreciation to the organizers of this significant event. I know we are, but we work very closely with all of our partners here, the International Advisory Group, of course under the stewardship of the National Security Advisor and our colleagues. We would like to say a big thank you that we have started the process and we are glad to be here today. I also feel very honored and privileged to be in your midst as a partner on this very special occasion of a two-day retreat organized for the security sector chiefs, key national and international stakeholders at the professional level on the security sector reform process in the Gambia. You are all assembled here today to brainstorm and chart a novel course for the expeditious implementation of the SSR process in the Gambia. As you may all be aware, no nation trusts in prosperity and development with the absence of peace, security, and stability. Given the enormity of the challenges facing the Gambia at the end of a 22-year authoritarian rule by the immediate past regime, the administration of President Adama Barrow decided to prioritize a series of reform initiatives for the prosperity of the country. Accordingly, the government began to take stock of the development status of the Gambia as the basis for developing a roadmap towards restoring peace, security, and good governance. In this vein, the government recently embarked on a detailed national security sector reform assessment to review the capabilities of its constituent institutions with a view to determining the weaknesses and challenges that need to be addressed to transform the sector to be more responsive to the security and justice needs of the people, as well as being mindful and fully respectful of human rights and the rule of law under civilian democratic governance. While a national security sector assessment has been undertaken, its cardinal elements are yet to be implemented. Within the international community, several multilateral and bilateral partners are engaged, including the ECOWAS, AU, UN, EU, France, United States, UK, Turkey, and Spain. And of course, many partners, I'm sure, are still on board, are coming on board, often with their respective packages for supporting the Gambian security sector reform process. However, the absence of a clear national security agenda, in spite of the security sector assessment, deprives international support and the requisite national direction, prioritization, and ownership which should drive and support the efforts and interventions. It was therefore proposed that a retreat for key national and international stakeholders at the professional level be undertaken to review the state of play in the SSRO process based on the common understanding of SSRO as it pertains to the Gambia. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it was premised on this that the ECOWAS, in collaboration with the government of the Gambia and of course the UN, because we are doing it at various levels, and other key national and international stakeholders, decided to organize this important retreat to enable you to brainstorm and chart a course for a more expeditious implementation of the SSRO process in the country. The objectives of the retreat, as you may have already been informed or you will hear, clearly underscores the relevance of this gathering, which are but not limited to the following: to establish or entrench a common understanding of the conceptual, normative, and programmatic underpinning of the SSRO in the Gambia, identify jointly specific factors responsible for the perceived slow pace of the SSRO and agree on the way forward, discuss reform priorities of the respective security institutions against existing international support programs, and propose a common monitoring and evaluation mechanism matrix on a common vision for the required state of the security in order that the government may assume full control of the security of the state and its people. Mindful of other competing demands requiring government's attention, the task of transforming the security sector in one phase within a given short period could be considered as being ambitious. In this regard, in considering the current capacity for assumption of the total range of anticipated support, there is the need to prioritize the most immediate needs for transforming the security sector. By focusing on these priorities, there should be commitment to ensure that there will be no relapses into the repressive culture of impunity of the past regime. In view of the above assertions, there are key weaknesses and challenges identified in the National Security Assessment Sector Assessment Report that require immediate attention by the government and its development partner, which must be addressed to facilitate a seamless transformation of the security sector institutions and reinvigorate oversight bodies, some of which are the obsolete legal and regulatory framework, which has led to the development of the national security policy, which is ongoing, the absence of a policy to address interoperability of the sector in terms of emergency, among others, which you will all learn later as you participate in this workshop. The culture of impunity, which was the norm during the 22 years of authoritarian rule of the immediate past regime, bequeathed a legacy of human rights abuses, which eroded public confidence and trust in the security sector. The SSR process must help us to restore this confidence. Equally, the lack of appropriate policy legal frameworks, like we said, and weak managerial and procedural frameworks to support transparency and accountability in the management of the security institution were also identified. Another prominent challenge to the security sector was the weak infrastructure, which is evident about many other ongoing activities, situations that confront us, like where we have many security institutions which operate for insecure, private rented properties across the country, which is a form of insecurity and which is not a good thing for us right now. So the lack of appropriate and secure infrastructure for these institutions impact negatively on their sense of duty and operational efficiency. Inadequate training was one of the challenges that identified, and we hope that it can be worked on as we proceed, as this will also enhance the capacity of the personnel need to shift in the way they currently operate. Another sticking point in the area of security challenges in the country is the lack of capacity to professionally manage the assorted arms and ammunition we have been left behind. This is an area of concern. Considering these, among others, there is an urgent need to create a balanced and affordable process to address the existing challenges faced by the security sector. The question remains on how to undertake the right sizing or whatever the government will opt for of the security sector to make it more efficient and productive in the midst of these challenges as recommended by most of the security sector assessment reports. At this juncture, it is pertinent and heartwarming to remark that ECOWAS and indeed most of the SSR international development partners in the Gambia will remain engaged to the end of the process to implement line projects and a joint work plan. In this regard, it is prudent to advise that the Gambia security sector works collaboratively with all of its partners in the country with the sole aim of linking the security sector reform process to the National Development Plan, which is a broader vision and objective of delivering the dividends of true democracy to the Gambian people. The good news is that the security situation in Gambia has been observed to be relatively calm, and social economic activities are ongoing smoothly within the country. It is quite encouraging to know that joint operations between ECOMAG forces and the Gambian security agencies are ongoing well, very cordial and effective. There has been no adverse situation with regards to security in general. However, it is noteworthy to observe that the state of crime, which was hitherto very low, has significantly increased, and the modus operandi of the criminals have also attained an appreciable level of concern. In view of this, security agencies are requested to curb the rising menace. Recall here, there will be no significant national development in the absence of peace, security, and stability. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to once again express our profound gratitude for the opportunity given to ECOWAS to organize, along with the Gambian counterpart, this important retreat. I'm of the firm belief that your brainstorming sessions will be very incisive and productive to pave the way forward in our quest to expedite the SSR process in the Gambia. After having said that, I wish to thank you all very much for starting this process with us, which we hope can be concluded with a reform sector for the Gambia that will make them to assume their rightful place. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for accepting our invitation to be here. And of course, the Honorable Excellency Vice President, we appreciate your leadership and we thank you for everything. Thank you very much.
Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, honorable members of the SSR Steering Committee, permanent secretaries here present, heads of security institutions, the UN resident coordinator, the special representative of ECOWAS, Ambassador Gayflow, my brother and friend, Mr. Kerr, from the AU Security Commission, our international and national partners, and recognize the presence of Bernard from the World Bank with us here. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it is my pleasure to address this retreat for heads of security institutions and public servants. I personally consider this retreat relevant and timely, and I wish to thank you all for attending. May I seize this opportunity to reaffirm without any equivocation the government's enduring commitment to a security sector reform that is essential for laying the foundation for sustainable peace, security, and stability in the Gambia. This platform provides an opportunity to discuss and improve the relationship between security sector reform actors in the pursuit of meaningful provision of security, good governance, and sustainable growth of our economy. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, since its inception in 2017, the SSR process has had assessment completed and now addressing the design and formulation of overarching national security policy issues. I am convinced that this will not only enlighten the heads of security institutions and public servants, but will also galvanize knowledge through interactive sessions which this retreat is expected to provide. The SSR is the key to achieving sustainable growth. It is therefore important that a suitable synergy must exist between SSR actors to create a sustainable partnership. All hands must be on deck to support the government in its democratization of the security sector. We should be ready to give our full commitment and maximum support for the success of our security sector reform. We all understand that the reform of the Gambia security sector is a dynamic process that is multifaceted in both political and security context. We are all national authorities and managers should take the lead and ownership of the process in order to ensure success. As the chair of the steering committee, I am confident that this retreat will help familiarize all with the concepts of the security sector and provide an opportunity for all participants to discuss the reform process. I also hope that it will contribute to the development of an effective partnership and a proper coordination momentum mechanism for our security sector reform process. At this juncture, I wish to thank all participants and convey the gratitude and appreciation of His Excellency President Adam Barrow to all those who supported and contributed to this retreat, particularly ECOWAS, represented here by Her Excellency Ambassador Gay Flo. The assistance of the UN, the EU, World Bank, the AU, has showcased the importance and usefulness of joint international partnership. The challenges of the SSR in the Gambia begins from the premise that guaranteeing the security of the people is a prerequisite to sustainable human development. Operationalizing and maximizing the reform is a must if our security sector is to reach the heights we all desire. The partnership between our SSR actors is not only desirable, but indeed imperative. All actors in this enterprise should cooperate in order to deliver security, good governance, and dividends of democracy to our citizens. I wish to recommend that this retreat should not be a one-off occasion, but should be a robust platform for regular interaction for all SS actors, which will create healthy synergy for the development of our security sector. I advise that all stakeholders undertake to work together with same sense of purpose and direction to expedite the process. I believe this will further deepen the mutual appreciation by all stakeholders on the success of SSR, particularly its contribution to the economic growth and prosperity of the Gambia. Finally, Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I wish to say that the challenges in the SSR being addressed in this retreat are too important not to command our full attention. This is why, despite the obvious pressure, we are here to prepare ourselves as critical stakeholders for the work ahead. A better understanding of the Gambia SSR issue will actually make our assignments easier, our work faster, and the result more meaningful. We are all here to gain better understanding of the security sector reform for the benefit of the system, our institutions, and our people. While wishing you fruitful deliberations that enhances the common understanding of SSR, I have the honor to declare this retreat open.